Hi there, this is 5 Live. I'm Sonal Kapoor. Today on the program, we look at the horrific story coming in. First from other parts of the country and now here in the national capital as well, where a 16-year-old boy died from jumping in front of a metro in Delhi. The police recovered a suicide note in which he blamed his school teachers for mentally harassing him for a prolonged period of time and urged his family to donate his organs as well to those in need. This comes a day after the death of a 9-year-old at a school in Jaipur. The incident occurred at Rajendra Place metro station when the boy who had left home for his drama club jumped off the platform in front of a metro. He was rushed to the nearby BLK hospital where he was declared dead. But the victim has left behind a suicide note where he has requested his family to go ahead, donate his organs as well. The note also mentions harassment from school authorities and harassment from teachers. Cops have registered an FIR. A probe is underway. Meanwhile, parents are protesting near the school where the child died. Protesting parents held placards demanding justice for the 16-year-old. Cops are now questioning the school authorities as well. But remember, this is not a case in isolation. So many of these cases we are hearing constantly in the country, in India's metros and tier 2 cities as well. What exactly is going on with the young generation? On one hand, we look at schooling where participation certificates are given, and on the other, where the pressure is just too much for the kids to carry on. What exactly influenced this? Where is the pressure coming from? Home or school or perhaps social media? We look into all those details.
I'm sorry for taking this step, but I was left with no choice, as I was compelled to do it by school authorities. If any organs in my body are found to be in a condition to donate after my death, please do so for the needy. My parents did a lot of good things for my upliftment, but I could not keep them happy. Broke my parents' trust on multiple occasions. But sorry, Mom, this will be my last time. I also want to say sorry to my brother as I was rude to him. What can I do if my school teachers are harassing me? I want action to be taken against those teachers who harassed me. Don't want any other child to suffer like me. I want to say sorry to my brother again for abusing him and not giving him the respect he deserved. I also say sorry to Papa for disappointing him with my behavior. It is only Mother who has always supported me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but the school authorities have harassed me.
और उसे पर्सनल टारगेट किया जाता है किसी भी चीज़ के लिए उसे अब पिछले 4 दिन पहले उसे धक्का दिया था शोल्डर से धक्का मार के मैम गई थी मैम ने टीचर ने धक्का दिया था ऐसे पीछे से पुश किया था इसके आई विटनेस इसके बच्चे जो बैठे ये भी है परसों इनका एक प्ले का प्रैक्टिस था उस प्ले के प्रैक्टिस में उस शौर्य का पैर फिसल गया और उसके लिए उसे बहुत बुरी तरह से डांटा वो रोने लग गया रोते रोते उस टाइम 3 टीचर्स और प्रिंसिपल के सामने उसे लेके गए प्रिंसिपल के सामने रो रहा था तो उसे बताया कि तुझे रोने की ज़रूरत नहीं यहाँ नाटक मत कर तू यहाँ से निकल जा तू रोएगा तब भी हमें कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता ये वर्ड्स प्रिंसिपल पाल के थे
जो भी सोशल मीडिया और आज न्यूज़पेपर के माध्यम से पता चला है कि एक बच्चे ने सुसाइड किया है जो वास्तव में बड़ा हृदय विदारक है और बड़ी परेशान करने वाली घटना है और हम भी अपने बच्चे को लेकर बहुत चिंतित हैं
करते हैं परेशान बच्चों को करते हैं बच्चों को परेशान करते हैं बहुत ज़्यादा करते हैं
कैसे पता आपको
मैं गाड़ी में जाता हूँ बच्चे
क्या बात करते थे कभी
कभी कहते ये मंगा दे कभी वो सामान मंगाओ कभी ये पनिशमेंट मिलेगी ये मिलेगी ये कहते रहते हैं बच्चे
वी आर फेसिंग ऑल्सो प्रॉब्लम रिगार्डिंग कई बार कंप्लेंट हमने भी करी है लेकिन कंप्लेंट का नतीजा ये होता है कि टीचर या कोऑर्डिनेटर वगैरह जो मैडम हैं वो बच्चे को फिर टोल करती हैं क्लास के अंदर कि अगर आपके पेरेंट्स अगर ऐसी करेंगे तो हम भी ऐसा करेंगे और सबके सामने बच्चों की बेइज्जती क्लास में बेइज्जती होती है बच्चा फिर वो फील करता है ये चीज़ें
वो दूसरे बच्चों के बारे आके बताता है कि मम्मा आज क्लास में ऐसा हुआ था मम्मा आज ऐसा हुआ था तो मैं कभी कहती हूँ कि मैं जाके बोलूँ मैं जाके पूछूँ मैं मेरी फ्रेंड्स भी उसी क्लास में हैं उसके फ्रेंड्स के बच्चे तो हम कांटेक्ट में रहते ग्रुप में रहते तो मैंने कहा ये मैसेज मैं ग्रुप में भेजती हूँ तो वो इतना डर जाता है मम्मा नहीं मैं नेक्स्ट टाइम से आपको बताऊँगा नहीं आप किसी से कुछ मत पूछना मैम गुस्सा करेंगी
All right, so that's the latest coming in from this very unfortunate story. Kids, young, impressionable minds. This one, 16-year-old, was clearly under some pressure. And let's see if authorities actually manage to go deep on this. And we also wait to hear for some response coming in from the teachers and schools as well. This is clearly a wake-up call that a lot of caregivers at school and at home both need to be looking at. All right, with that, let's move on to the next big focus. So we continue to pick up the issue of air pollution every day in our bulletin, and today we look at the air apocalypse that Delhi is facing, but what exactly does it mean in terms of GRAP measures? Now remember, GRAP measures have changed slightly, but what about impact on ground? Who exactly is implementing it and why? Let's take a look at this ground report for more.
The picture that's coming from across Delhi: Siri Fort 412, RK Puram 423, Punjabi Bagh 437, and the list goes on.
Delhiites continue to breathe toxic air despite the implementation of GRAP 3 measures, with the air quality index reaching a dangerously high level of 399 this morning, just 1 point below the severe category. The air quality in at least 20 monitoring stations across the capital still stands in the severe category, posing significant health risks, especially for children and elderly.
This is the picture of Delhi. 399, just a point below severe category of AQI in the national capital. But what's more concerning is the picture that's coming from across Delhi: Siri Fort 412, RK Puram 423, Punjabi Bagh 437, and the list goes on. At least 20 stations across national capital right now have AQI which is in severe category, and Wazirpur is actually pressing the alarm bells where the AQI is at 477.
As the situation continues to worsen, the implementation of the Graded Response Action Plan is now shrouded in controversy. The Supreme Court have allowed major revisions to GRAP measures in response to the pollution crisis. The proposed changes shift stricter measures to earlier stages. Some Stage 4 advisories that kick in when the AQI is above 450 will now apply at Stage 3.
What does the CPCB data say?
But India Today's reality check found that the AQI readings at monitoring stations in Delhi is in fact lower than the actual air quality readings. Other measuring indices such as Swiss IQ Air place Delhi's air quality in the hazardous category way beyond the 700 mark. This raises the question, shouldn't GRAP 4 measures be put in place in totality in Delhi?
दिल्ली सरकार ये चिंतित है कि किसी भी तरह से पोल्यूशन कम हो और उसके लिए बहुत सारे उन्होंने डिस्कशन की। मेरा मानना ये है कि अब आने वाले समय में आपको पोल्यूशन खत्म ही नजर आएगा।
The recurring nature of this crisis during winter and the worsening situation despite government measures emphasizes the need for emergency measures, including GRAP 4 in the capital. With Amit Bharadwaj in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, but what exactly are authorities doing on implementation of this GRAP? This is the reaction we are getting from the Municipal Corporation of Delhi. All right, we'll bring you that in just a moment, but let's get in more details of what exactly has happened in the pollution fiasco. Now, the fight for clean air has reached Supreme Court. Top Court has now asked the Commission of Air Quality Management to direct schools in Delhi NCR to postpone open-air sports competitions planned in November and December to safer months. Now, this comes after a group of students actually filed a petition against outdoor sports during this toxic months. The students say that they have been pushed into tournaments, trials and coaching camps right when the city's air gets really severe. But it also happens to come at a time when it's being done for college applications. That's the rationale from the side of the schools as well. So we thought today on the program, let's try and get an understanding from these kids on who were they that actually took the petition to the court and understand their perspective as well. Joining us today is Naisa Bedi, Shireen Sultana Shaw and also Zoya Sani. Hello, ladies, girls, if I might call you. Let me start with Zoya there. Zoya, first up, what exactly was your plea that you have taken to Supreme Court at this point? What specifically was the demand coming in from all of you?
So what we're asking is that the sports calendar be recalibrated, because at the moment a lot of tournaments that are then lead to bigger tournaments and high level tournaments and then lead to you playing for your state end up happening in November or December, which are really, really polluted in Delhi. So we're playing in AQI that's above 500, and you can see the effects of that. And there's a lot of documentation on the effects of that long term and while we're playing as
Yeah.
well, in the performance is altered as well. So we're just hoping to have that changed, to have them maybe in April, May, June, when there's less pollution.
Got it. Naisa, I was also listening about some petitions that have gone from the side of from the parents to actually say that Delhi should, in a way, or Delhi NCR on the whole, should actually have a longish winter break compared to, say, a longish summer break. Maybe it's time to turn our calendars altogether, not just on sports, but academics as well, since the air is so bad. Maybe a good idea to shorten up our summer break and give kids and our calendar a longer break post-Diwali when the air particularly gets bad.
Yes, that makes sense, as the air pollution during the times of October, November, December, January are really, really dangerous to our health. And as kids who are growing up, we have growing lungs, we are adversely affected by this air pollution. And therefore, it's really important that instead of having a longer summer break during the times which the air quality is actually at a healthy amount, we have a longer winter break so that we're not forced to be out in the open with the AQI levels so high. So we're not
Right.
as affected.
Right. Shireen, come in on the point that, the school and teachers pretty much, have their own deadlines to meet, college applications, etc. So they are really caught in the middle of this entire fiasco. They want to care for the kids physically and care for the kids' future as well. Where do you think a balance can be struck here? What is it that, according to you guys, should be done?
I feel like we should focus on both college, like the teachers should focus on both college applications as well as the health of children, which is mostly the case. You think about both, what's best for children, which is most important, the health, how you can make sure they don't harm themselves in these severe conditions, while also making sure that their future is intact.
Right. Zoya, let me come to you and your understanding of what air pollution means. Now, despite the fact that all of us have been talking about air pollution for a while now, there seems to be a massive gap in understanding. Are you guys, Gen Z, still sort of amazed at how some of the older generations react to air pollution? Some people saying immunity will catch up and some bizarre non-scientific facts like that?
So I think obviously this air pollution isn't something that's just come up, right? It's something that is a consequence of decades and possibly even centuries of development, and that's at the cost of the environment and of protecting the environment in the air and deforestation and so many different ways in which we've seen the environment take a backseat for so long. And I think it's very difficult if you've grown up with that mindset and if you've spent most of your life living in a world where you're prioritizing development over the environment because you don't see a necessity of prioritizing the environment, to suddenly then change your mindset and say that, look, we should prioritize the environment, and it's really, really dangerous to have people living and playing in this really bad pollution. So I think I hope that a lot of people's mindsets will catch up to this, but I think that's probably why a lot of people have a difficult time grappling with the idea of air pollution being such a severe problem.
Right. Naisa, if there's one sort of understanding of air pollution that you could give to the older generations, somebody who hasn't woken up to this entire air pollution crisis that we are all in, that we are breathing in every second, what would that be?
I would say it's here, it's very real, and it's not a new thing. It's been going on for about a decade or so, and it's adversely affecting us. And from personal experience of both Shireen, Zoe, and I can say that we ourselves are affected by it. We all have a bad cough, we face acute chest pain while playing. So clearly it's here, it's real, and it's affecting us. So it's not a thing that we should deny or put off.
Right. Shireen, would you echo that thought? And I keep going back to solutions here. Because, like I said, shutting down schools, nobody wants to do that. Shutting down activities, nobody wants to do that as well. Health should not come at the cost of education. Health should not come, or environment should not come at the cost of keeping kids indoor. It should not come at the cost of being inside an air bubble all the time. We need solutions that can actually, break out of this. So are you guys also in school actively discussing this?
Yes, so I agree that we need solutions, and in school we have many solutions. But before that, I'd like to say, as conscious citizens, there are many things we can do ourselves. Firstly, waste segregation that can really help. Secondly, minimize use of personal transport and increase use of public transport. Like in our school, we have this butter to bus initiative, which basically encourages children to use the bus instead of using personal transport. So I feel like there are many things we can do on an individual level to mitigate the pollution crisis.
That's a good one. Let me go to Zoya on that one. Any personal experiences or solutions you guys have to offer when clearly everybody else doesn't seem to have one?
So, like Shireen said, our school very specifically has this huge initiative where it's encouraging people to take public transport, because so many reports see that transport is such a big contributor to a lot of the pollution that we face, not just in these months, but also year round. So, I think if every school could implement such a program where you're encouraging people to take the bus, and ev- different workplaces and the government just tries to incentivize more people to use public transport, as well as having modes of waste segregation and just caring more for the environment in any way that you can, I think there's slowly that'll have a lot of positive impact.
Naisa, how are conversations on air pollution happening at home? Is it dinner table conversation? Are you guys schooling literally your parents as well on what to do, on the fact that they should work from home when possible, carpool when possible? Is that an active conversation at home?
Yes, obviously, we can all see it. I've been affected by it. So we've had conversations on why I'm so affected by it. And air pollution seems to be one of the main contributors to my health. So that's why we genuinely talk a lot about air pollution. But from my parents' time, obviously, they're not as acquainted to the concept of the AQI being really high because they haven't grown up around it. So sometimes I do educate them that a lot of the problems they face and I face are directly coming from the air pollution as well.
Yeah. Zoya, what about you? I'm looking for schooling sort of initiatives that you have taken upon family as well.
So I think my family is very in touch with how bad the situation is specifically, but I do see that especially in senior citizens specifically, there is a lot of resistance to not only just believing in the severity of the pollution, but actually actively changing one's lifestyle to compromise and actually do something that will benefit the air pollution. I think that becomes the biggest barrier, that people don't want to inconvenience themselves. So I think in that way, there are quite a few conversations, and we have a lot of them at school as well.
And I can tell you guys, it's not just you people. All of us at some stage or the other, even now, have to sort of school our own parents. And if my family is watching, half the time I have to do that with them, that wear your mask, ensure that the air purifier is on. Shireen, have you had any family member where you've had to sort of tell them that, listen, it's time to wear your N95, N99, do not step out without it?
Yes, so this happens mostly with grandparents, because at that time pollution wasn't a very severe issue, right? So they don't really understand what the grave extent to what pollution has caused in today's day. So yeah, you have to sort of remind them that they can't go out without a mask. They can't sort of step out of the house whenever they want to, and that it's not actually fog outside, it's pollution. I feel like it's really important to keep reminding them, because often they forget because they don't see pollution as a grave issue.
Yeah. Well, we really hope that, like the courts have listened to your voices, to your petition, we really hope that change comes in both, in our houses as well. It starts with one family at a time. It starts with one parent at a time, and gradually a community, perhaps, which is more aware of the impact that air pollution has on all of us, especially those who are young and vulnerable. Thank you so much for joining, and good luck with what comes next. All right, let's go across to some more updates coming in. This is the situation in Nepal. It seems to be getting back to normal now. Curfew has been lifted after consensus between administration and Gen Z group. But what exactly happened? Now, little over 2 months after the violent Gen Z protest resulted in a regime change, if you'll remember, in Nepal, tensions in Nepal's Bara district had escalated on Thursday after authorities reimposed a daytime curfew following renewed confrontations that happened between Gen Z protesters and supporters of the former Prime Minister KP Sharma Oili's. Now, the Communist Party of Nepal. But what happened? What was the trigger? And now we are getting the update that things are better. Pranay is with us to take us through all of those details. Pranay, what was the cause initially, if you could explain that to us, and then the latest as well?
Well, what happened that in the Simara area of the Bara district, which is in the southern Nepal, around 100 kilometers from the city of Kathmandu, the capital city of Nepal, there both the parallel rallies were going on. One led by the Gen Z group and another rally was being led by the workers of the CP and UML, the party of KP Sharma Oli. And in fact, both the workers of both the political parties clashed on the streets and it actually, escalated into a situation in the region, and therefore the curfew was imposed. But now the situation is back to normal. This is what we have been given to understand by the local authorities as well. And in this regard, the Interim Prime Minister of Nepal, Sushila Karki, has also issued an advisory, and she has also asked the Home Department to handle the situation very carefully and ask the leaders of the political parties to handle the situation carefully and not to lead it to a situation where where the rival factions or the two different political parties end up in a situation where the workers have to confront each other. We know that after, as you mentioned, in September, the violent protest, and after that there was a regime change in Nepal, and after that 5th of March 2026 is the date when Nepal is scheduled to have its election. And ahead of the election, Sushila Karki held a meeting with 110 political party representatives and decided that the political process need to be taken forward to rally support among their own cadres and among their own voter base. The political parties are staging these rallies, carrying out these processions, and this Simara situation was only the fallout of a situation where both the rival parties clashed with each other. But now, thankfully, the situation is back to normal.
But Pranay, one has to wonder, when the protests actually happened, when the uprising took place, back then, the protesters had burned out practically every government body there, every government building as well. Is Nepal at the moment in a capacity as well to hold elections? Has the rebuilding process started? And if yes, who's taking care of it?
That was the commitment, Sonal. That was the commitment given by the Sushila Karki also, who was anonymously elected or selected by the Gen Z protester groups who wanted a responsible, a former Chief Justice of Nepal, to take care of the interim arrangement to ensure that the leadership of Nepal, the future leadership of Nepal, will be among the youth as well. They will have a proper representation of the people's will, and therefore it was a commitment given by her, and as well as the society also want an early election so that a legitimate government can take care and take forward the process of development. That is part of the commitment. But besides that, Nepal is coming back to normalcy, and the political process is also on, and therefore on Wednesday, Sushila Karki held a meeting with the representative of 110 political parties, including CP and UML, the Nepalese Congress, and many other political parties. The Gen Z group representation was also there, and everyone agreed that Nepal wants a fresh election. And
will they manage to actually make it happen? Will those authorities, will those areas where elections are supposed to take place, will they actually come up? Since most of Nepal has been brought down to the dust, especially those government bodies there. Well, I'm afraid that's all we can pack in this edition of 5 Live. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay tuned to India Today. Lots more coming up.